Good evening, service crew. Find by the Sterner, Ace Windfall. Ready for takeoff. That's really hot. I shouldn't drink that yet. I put my teak to my lips just now, and I could feel the heat on my mouth. Did not feel like a good idea, actually. Service crew, I am dog tired. It's a good thing we did that yesterday, and it's a good thing it is a bank holiday in the US today. Yo, what's up, Sultari? Happy Monday, welcome on in. We beat Blue Prince yesterday. It was a monument and a half. What's up, Dolly? Happy Monday, welcome on in as well. I am so happy, and the best worst part of it is low-key, when I woke up this morning, which I went to bed at 5 after beating the game, 5 in the morning, and I woke up at like 10:30, so I got a nice 5.5 hours of sleep. What's up, Gabriel? Happy Monday, welcome in. After that 5.5 hours of sleep, low-key, I was like, you know what I kind of wanted to do? I kind of wanted to go boot up Blue Prince and just do more of the more Ajay boxes. Like, I can't stress enough. I think I actually really enjoyed those, and if there doesn't exist one, I would love to have that as like a daily game. That's like my favorite thing, and we only did half of them, right? Because there was, for those that missed it, so in Blue Prince, this beautiful game, I'm going to give you a really, really quick rundown for anyone who wasn't there for any of them, or anyone who needs a refresher, right? So I was sold on it as a puzzle roguelike game. Roguelike, fine. Puzzle, I'm in there. Together, it's like, okay, this is an interesting fusion of genres. And I saw like the parlor game, which was where like you have 3 logic things, and one is true, one is false, and one is like something else. And it's like, where are the gems in there? And I was like, these are all really cute, and like the art style is interesting, the world is interesting. It feels like a game with a lot of questions. And it's like, go into your grandpapa, your grunkle's house, your granduncle's house, and find the 46th room of his 45-room mansion, right? It's a 9x5 mansion, so there's 45 rooms typically, but where's the 46th room? And like that's all I knew going in. And it was so fantastic. It is such a good game. And how much is this game actually? Because there is no way this is so much, like, this is not, like, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not charging enough for this game, I think. Like, actual real talk. Is this like a $30 game? It's a $30 game. This is at least like a $40 to $50 game. Easily. See, I would have thought it was $30 as well, but no, it's $30. I would have thought it's $40 as well. It's $30 for me. It's on sale for $24 right now. And Service Crew, not only is it on sale for $24 right now, you can also buy it as a bundle with Inscription for a total of less than $40 for $39.58. Inscription seems really cool. I legit might buy that bundle because it's one of those complete the bundles. So I don't have the other one, so I could grab that. That'd be cool. What's up, by the way, Harmonica? Happy Monday. Welcome on in. It's such a good game. Like, you just go in just being like, okay, I just got to get to the 46 room of this 45 room mansion. You get like at first you're like, okay, so the idea is I have to complete this 5x9 grid and get to the top. But like, then there's going to stop me as like puzzles and steps, and like maybe the RNG's not going to get there. And then you get to the top and you're like, oh, I got a basement key. Oh, I got to go find a basement now. And then you go find a basement. And then there are puzzles in there, and then you have to like go and find a lever to open up the antechambers, right? Like, not even, you have to go open up the antechambers with a lever first. Then once you do that, that's when you get the basement key. Then you go to the basement. Then you have to find the 46 lever down there. Then that lets you go in the 46 room, and then the tutorial's over. That's when the credits roll. That's when you're like, oh, I beat the game. But then in your heart of hearts, 20 to 30 hours into the game, you're like, huh. But what about that? And what about that? And what about that? And you have so many other lingering questions that you keep going in, and you dive deeper and deeper. You delve deeper and deeper into what is effectively madness in such a beautiful way. And it ends with, yesterday, what we ended up doing after a culminating 11 other streams of building up to the moment, we were able to get a blue crown from the inside of the 46 room. We were then able to solve a puzzle to find a key to unlock a scepter in a found floor plan, which we had to draft outside the house in the first place. But after we found that scepter, it was okay to like just get it in the house, which involved doing castling a la chess, famously from chess. We had to castle with chess pieces into solving Morajai boxes, into going to a certain place at a certain time with no items and no money, and then solving a riddle that included Roman numerals, math, and foreign languages, foreign conlangs. What's con and conlang stand for? Constructed languages? That's the word, thank you. And then solving that gives you the key, which gets you the scepter. And then we also had to get the third thing. What was the third thing? It was a cursed stone. We got that. That was actually fairly easy. You just had to like break open a box. That was fine. And then doing that, you know what we got? We became the Blue King, right? And even that wasn't the end. After we became the Blue King, it was like, oh, there's still more, right? And then you had to go, and what did you have to do at that point? You had to go find the blue holly doors, which there were 2 of them. One was further and deeper into the tunnel, which I thought I had cleared out. I hadn't, apparently. Which you then unlocked 8 different doors in a kind of beautiful victory lap, right? There's a normal lock door. There's a security card lock door. There was a basement door, which had the basement key. There was a door that you had. There was a wall that you broke down with a power hammer. There was a wall that you had to light candles on to have it go down. There was a microchip related door. There was a Mount Holly blue door, the big one, and there was an 8th door. I don't remember what the 8th door was. Technically, it was like the 5th or 6th door, but like whatever, doesn't matter. There were a lot of doors. And then in the end, there's another parlor game, which gets you a book and also gets you a riddle. And then further on, doing other things, you put alcohol water on some empty books in a library to then go and draft a secret passage outside the house. Then use the alcohol water on the books in that to open up an entire blue realm. Eiffel 65, eat your heart out. I don't know if that's the number for Eiffel. It's Eiffel whatever, the Blue Dabba group. And in there, it is the most beautiful and terrifying thing I've seen in a game ever. Beautiful in that it was just pure puzzle goodness. Terrifying in that, like, I'm doing it at the beginning of the game and I only have like 60 steps, and like there's a lot of steps you want to like take in there. So like theoretically you want to like go into the house and get steps first, but like that's kind of like lame. Like I just wanted to do it especially because it was so close to the end, but like I get like the gameplay reasons why that, but like I was just like, why can't you just make this like free to just like not take steps in? But it's fine. I got it. Whatever. It made it so it's like you still had to like play the game in the game. I got it. Sure. But in there there were 45 Morajai. There were actually 46 Morajai boxes in there. 46 of these beautiful handcrafted puzzles that use as 3x3 grid with color combinations that you then have to solve. There were matching photos with one letter off, like a bear and an ear, and it's like, oh, the difference is the letter B. And then there were like words inside the Morajai boxes, and there were lanterns of different colors, just like the DC cinematic universe. Ryan Reynolds, eat your heart out. And putting all that together and using the internet a lot, you're able to solve. I didn't even talk about the numeric core, by the way. There was an entire numeric core thing. My grandmother actually left for my grandfather. No, my great grandmother left for my grandfather, I think. And like I had to like do math on 4-letter digits. I had to do math on toes, which was 19, by the way, which was the letter S. And after doing that, my reward is another will and testament, my great grandmother's will and testament. And now I'm the Blue King. And there was no credits for that one. There was just beautiful music. The color blue. So much blue. And a sense of satisfaction. It's a really good game. Would recommend it. I don't know what games I've played that came out this year. That very well might be my GOAT. My GOAT. Just because, like, for a $30 game, that had so much in it. Even if you, like, cut it at the credits, like 30 hours into the game, that's a really solid game. But the fact that it just kept going and going and going, like, that was so insane. And, like, legitimately, I wanted to go back and, like, do the rest of the Mordjai boxes. I was not kidding. Part of me was debating just loading up blueprints and, like, playing it in the background as, like, a stim for you guys, and also for me, just doing the other, like, 20 more Ajai boxes I didn't do last week or yesterday, whatever. It's been a long 16 hours. How long has it been? I don't even know if it's been 16 hours, right? It was great. Okay, sorry I didn't look at your chat message, by the way. I had to go, like, rant, because if I started, like, looking at your chat messages, I was never going to get that rant out. Apologies. Kiwi, welcome in. Happy Monday. Severin, welcome in. Happy Monday. I'm going to scroll back up now and look at what you guys said. We're going to the first block of P3P. I think I might be obsessed with Persona. Help. Congratulations, Dolly. Very sick, by the way. Persona 3 Portal is super fun. I think I saw one stream Blueprints, and it seemed too big brain for me. It was surprisingly too big brain for me near the end. It was really good. I got like 80 hours in before I had to like look for like major help, with the exception of the gallery, which the gallery is BS. We all know that. But like, it's so good. And I honestly legitimately think, Sultari, if you don't want to play yourself, go like look up parts of a playthrough, either mine or anyone else's. Like, go look up a long play that's where someone edits stuff out, because there's a lot of stuff that could be edited out of like my playthrough, right? Like it is such a, at least like have someone explain, like if at least like, I hope me explaining to you helped you get like a sense of what it was, because it was beautiful in a way. It was awesome. So this last after I went to sleep, did you find out what the wooden spiral was? I saw that someone sent a weird stuff in stream chat. The wooden spiral is basically just the idea of like the path keeps going and going and going, right? It's endless. Like the endless 8 from Haruhi. Blueprints was my endless 8. Which is fitting, because 8's a special number in Blueprints, because 8 squared is 64, and then if you flip the number 64, you get 46, which is the special number in Blueprints. That's like the perfect Eurasian number. See? It's in my brain now. I will never go out. It's like digital roots. It's now just part of my vocabulary. Did you watch the second VOD to see if you lost it enough to make an... I don't think I ever made a, have you checked your butthole reference, but I did go watch the video afterwards. I was like, it's good, right? Because it's, who is it? Oh my god, who is Tom Cardy? I want to say Tom Cardy, but I was like, I don't know if that's the name. Yeah, like, it's Tom Cardy. Tom Cardy just makes good music. You find the other blue door? We did. That's where the entire blue world was in, Gabriel. The entire blue... If you saw the weird map, the blue map with all the lanterns on it, that was what the second blue door was. We had to go draft a secret passage, which you can see in like the final screenshot here. Open link. You can see here in my final day, beautiful by the way, in that we didn't draft anything in the main house. If you put the secret passage outside, you can then go into the entire blue world. It's actually so amazing. And it was so just like, it felt like a dev room in a way, right? It felt like you would see this in like it wasn't a game. It wasn't a game, but this is like the feeling of like in certain games where it's like, oh, I'm the developer and this is my room. Here is the first draft of Blueprints, right? Like, which is fitting, drafting rooms and Blueprints, right? Like it felt like the legit, like, this is my draft. This is what all the rooms should look like when everything is said and done. Here is my perfect game. It felt like I was in Dante yesterday. I saw him make this reference. I don't think I commented on this, but I internalized it. It was the same vibe, kind of, as like going in Silent Hill and getting the dog ending and seeing the dog at the console, like doing stuff. But like, I was at the dog ending console without a dog there, and I was just like, this is the console. This is the thing that was controlling everything in a way, even though it wasn't. But there was a lot of beauty in there. I loved it so much. Would recommend. You can go ruin your life with it. It's fantastic. Nah, yeah, I didn't make another callback, sorry. Sia Dwinfell. Kiwi, look at you. You're making Blueprints references. That was another one. I went back and I looked at little bits of my VOD because like, how insane was I at the very end of the stream yesterday? And one of them I saw was me pulling up the one, like going over the last like hidden secrets that maybe don't mean anything, part of the like Steam guide I was using, and one of them was like, if you take the word rosemary and you switch the words around, you get gibberish. And I was just like laughing because I was like, why did you put this here? Why did you take a word and make it not a real word? But why did you take a somewhat word and make it gibberish and be like, yeah, this makes sense? And that's what you're doing, Kiwi. It was great. My mind associates web fishing with just chatting, so I'm surprised we're not in web fishing. That's true. I like doing both. I like having both available in Kiwi. Also, this, I had like a few specific things I want to talk about, mostly this and also, what's the other one? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Kiwi. So I was like, I want to keep a little bit more like focused and also smaller. Web fishing will usually go for like 2 to 3 hours. Just chatting goes for like an hour or two, right? Small little differences that I internalize, even though they don't really make a difference. But I know what I mean. I know what I'm doing. Even though it doesn't seem like I do, and usually I don't. I think I know what I'm doing sometimes. You played so much, you played so much Blueprints. It feels like you did nothing else for half a year. It wasn't even half a year. It was 3 months. This is nothing. That was not even half a year. That's the insane part. Yo, what's up, Ben? Welcome on in. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ben. Or me. Both of us. Ace, I was the dog at the console. We did talk about that at one point. Himbo Dog Boy at the console ruining your Silent Hill playthrough. Ace, when is your birthday? September 21st. So, what that means is not this Sunday, not next Sunday, but the following Sunday. Mark your calendars. I tuned into Ace Windfall channel. I see Ace playing Blueprints. Huh, am I watching a VOD? I checked the channel page. No, it says live. Then I heard the dreaded word, Ace Kun Denwa. Huh, I feel like Ace has been playing this for a lot, hasn't he? Ace Kun Denwa. Huh? And then it's just the same references 8 weeks in a row. Actually, it really was my Endless 8 when you think about it, because it was 3 episodes of us actually playing the game. Like the first 3 episodes were us beating the tutorial. Then episodes 4 through 11, 8 episodes, by the way, were us just like trying to find the ending. And then yesterday's episode was the end of the Endless 8 where we break out of it, and that's the special 9th episode. I don't know, I'm gonna be real, I actually never watched Haruhi. That's a lie. I tried to watch it in chronological order, so I watched 1 episode and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Don't watch Haruhi in chronological order. You might think it's cool, it's not. They made it in non-chronological order for a reason. Happy birthday, Ben. How many streams did it take you to finish P5R? More. P5R was definitely like 9 months, I want to say. I think because I distinctly remember like talking about like, Service Crew, you could have had a baby in the course that I played that game. It was 25, thank you. So yeah, it was over double that technically. And I'm pretty sure P5R had a lot more longer streams, because I definitely was going like 10 hours and a lot more of those than I was in Blueprints, I think. I don't know if you can check the hour, like you can check the number of videos pretty easily, but I don't know if you can check the number of like the total hour of the playlist easily. I don't know. It's not my birthday though, just to be clear. Understandable. Still, I'm just getting out of the way now, Ben, just in case I forget later on. Happy birthday. Okay. I think that's what I got with Blueprints. Does anyone else have any questions else related to it? Please go play it. High-key, low-key. In the time between now and Silksong's release at the end of the week, I might go in just on my own and just do more of those Morajai puzzles, because I'm not kidding. I think those are like the best puzzle content for me, because it's just like, it's just so simple. It's like Sudoku, where it's just like bite-sized little puzzle you can just nom on. It's so good. I'm so glad. Like, I unironically so happy and glad that was like, they knew what they were cooking in that kitchen, and they were like, oh, we got a banger here, and they were right. Every single one of those colors did something specific and special, and it was such a treat every single time I got a Morajai box. So seeing 45 of those things in a row was both daunting and exciting, titillating, if you will, tantalizing, if you will. Would do it again. Seriously, you guys want to go? I feel like at the end of Futurama, see what one of the one times they were gonna end the show, right? I think it's the penultimate ending where it's like, you want to go around again? Sure. Like low key, I would so go down like the Blueprints wormhole again. Rabbit hole. Will you watch Green Knight now? I already watched Green Knight. That thing was great. Is that what we're doing, though? We're going in order of the colors? After Green Knight, what do I watch, Kiwi? Yellow... What's a yellow thing? We watched Yellow Lantern Corps? Is that a thing? Yeah, 100%. I'm buying Silksong, like, when it drops. It's only $20, too. That's insane. That's even more insane, arguably. Depending. I don't know. I haven't played it. I don't want to, like, buy into the hype, even though I think the hype is fairly warranted. They have produced an actual game before. But like, 100%. I'm buying it. I'm playing it off stream on my own. Friday night and Saturday are just gonna be me playing it. It's gonna be great. Which Green Lantern Corps would you be in? Technically, wouldn't it be just which Lantern Corps would you be in, not Green Lantern Corps? But great question. I don't know what they are. I know we were talking about them yesterday, but I was busy doing more Jai boxes and like tired out of my mind. I think it was. Isn't it blue? Didn't we say blue because it was like the Hopium one? And I was definitely on a lot of Hopium last time. Why do you want to go to the DC fandom wiki that it doesn't just have like a nice like table of like red, yellow, green, blue, purple and what they do? Also black, white, and ultraviolet. Ultraviolet? Excuse me, indigo and violet. They do that one. What are the 11 Lantern Corps? Every kind of DC Lantern Corps. Ranked. Ultraviolet, emotion, hidden negative feelings. Okay, no. White Lantern Corps, life. It's alright. Star Sapphire Corps, love. It's alright. I don't know if pink is my color. Alpha Lantern Corps, that's not a color. What are these? Logic. I like logic, but I'm not like, that's not my like defining trait. Indigo, compassion. That's solid. Indigo's a nice color too. Orange, avarice. Not me. Also, orange is not my color. It's my like polar opposite color. Black, death. I'm not a villain. Blue, hope. I feel like it's that one. Red, rage. Not really. Sinestro, fear. That's yellow, is fear. Green, will. No, yeah, it's definitely blue. Almost 100%. Blue shit, they don't work unless green is present. Is death an emotion now? It says emotion / source. I mean, they definitely were like, they're definitely just making stuff up, right? But I agree. Like, it's like, I don't know if they track that hard. Yellow Submarine would be a good yellow one. B-movie, it has to have yellow in it though, Ben. But I've already watched B-movie too. Basically just one guy who's greedy. Wait, is orange just one guy? Hold on, where was that? It said avarice. I thought there were more than one orange guy. The Orange Lantern Corps is actually a one-man army. Wait, controlled by Agent Orange. Oh, that's a name. Also known as Larfleeze. Consumed by greed, Larfleeze first debuted in Green Lantern Volume 4. Rather than comprise living members, Larfleeze's corpse were actually the ghosts of those he killed using the orange ring. Okay, this might transition perfectly into my talk about I know, his name is Agent Orange. That's an insane name. This might, I don't know when Green Lantern Volume 4, number 25 came out, but like, that feels like, no, it came out in like 2007? Okay, I was just, that'd be like peak like Vietnam War. Is that when that would have been? Like, that's an insane name. It was a blame. Welcome on in. But like, who's monitoring the Green Lantern? Who's monitoring the Lantern Corps in general, right? Because that's what that makes me think of. And it makes me think of like, in the same way, I don't know if we want to lop over there yet, but like, I watched all 3 Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find the movie this last weekend. I'll finish the 3rd one today. I have so many questions on, like, what? It's literally 1 okay movie and then 2 sequels that I go like, why are these things? Why did they make these? And the 3rd one is the most just like, what's going on? How does this work? Because the 3rd one is all about them. It's all about, so there's a bad guy in all 3 movies. There's a bad guy called Grindelwald, and he's like the bad. He's wizard Hitler, because it's taking place in like the 1920s. He's just legit wizard Hitler, and it's about him becoming the leader of the magical world. But it's like, why does all the magical world have one governing body? I thought they had like ministers of magic and presidents. Like, what's going on? I don't get it. Thank you, Blamey. I will sit. What am I doing? Standing up, drinking cat and cat pat? Get over your spare parts. You're technically with them, but don't tell them. It's insane. Everything has to be a trilogy now. The worst part is it's not. It's designed as more than a trilogy, because at the end of the third movie, it leaves it open still. It's so bad. It's not a Code Geass reference. Agent Orange is a thing from Code Geass, though. That's no, is his name Agent Orange? What is he? It's just Orange, right? Orange-kun. The goat, by the way. That dude is so crazy. I love him. He's also in Shadowverse Evolve. He's a runecraft leader you can pull. He's also an alt art for the card Concentration, which is 2 mana. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You can add a follower from among them. Put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck. Spell chain 10, gain 1 play point. It's pretty good. I think it's called Show of Loyalty is the retrain version of it. It's not even a retrain, it's just it's not even a reprint, it's just an all art version. There's especially like a Fantastic Beast in the Fantastic Beasts movie. The first one, not so much. Second, third, yes, right? Like I think that's my issue. And like the first one especially, like I feel like I could be wrong on this. It could be like I'm doing it on like, you know, my TV in the hangar and not like in a big IMAX screen. But even for a movie about Fantastic Beasts, I feel like they didn't do a good job like with the Fantastic Beasts, like with a few exceptions. But like some of them didn't look as great. But that's a little nitpicky. I can like overlook that if the rest of the story's good. And like whenever it's now about Newt. So if you don't know, to set the groundwork for this long tangent discussion, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find the Movies are 3 movies in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. They're set in the 1920s, after World War I, before World War II, in that like Roaring 20s into Great Depression era, specifically like the late 20s, right? And they're about Newt Scamander, the author of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is a book referenced in Harry Potter. And he's a magizoologist, which is a zoologist, but for fantastic beasts, right? And the first one is mostly about that. He goes to New York. His actual goal is to go and like release this like griffin or whatever it is. I'm gonna mangle a lot of names, so if you're like really into the magic zoology part, I'm sorry, I'm gonna destroy that. But he's got like a griffin lion flying thing in his suitcase that he's gonna like go take to Arizona, but he has to stop through New York. He has to go through 1920s. They go through Ellis Island, and when he's in there, he like runs into some trouble. Like some dudes, like he's got some animals in his backpack. He's got some creatures in a backpack. They break out. He ends up like doing some stuff at a bank. He runs into like Jacob, which is the best character in the first movie. The thing gets like ruined in the second and third movie, arguably, because they shouldn't have been in the second and third movie. Not as bad as Queenie, Jacob's love interest, but that's an entire other discussion. But right, sorry, smack that. But like he goes into New York. He meets a friend, Jacob, by having like a run-in. Jacob, of course, is a no-mage, which is the American version of Muggle, which is stupid, but whatever. And then they run into like some Aurors, some cops, right? Some magic cops, Tina and Queenie. And then they have a fun adventure about like, oh, hey, you're a magizoologist. We think there are magical creatures running amok. And also your briefcase got opened and there are creatures running amok. So the idea is like, oh, he has to go and collect his creatures and then also find out what this other creature that was already running amok in New York City was. And it's like, that's a fun idea. And then it turns out, and this is where it starts to lose me a little bit, but I'm kind of okay with it up to a certain point. It turns out the creature that was like running amok in New York was not a creature. It was something called a Quirkus? That's not it. That's an Arknight's character. Confundus? No, that's a charm. What is Credence? Fantastic Beasts. It's a, what is this called? It's something stupid. He's an Obscurial, which is when like you're a magical boy, but then they're like telling you can't be a magical boy. And so basically it's like, you know, he's a special boy where he's like, if you're an Obscurious, that means like you've been told to suppress your magic powers, and usually by the time you're like 8 to 10, because you're suppressing your magic powers, they just become their own being, and they kind of kill you and they run amok, right? And that's fine. Like, it turns out that actually the thing wasn't a beast, it was a boy that was being like suppressed, like he was being told, hey, magic's bad. And that's fine. Inherently, that's fine. I think the stakes get weird when the thing like kills. Like, it's weird because like the thing's like destroying stuff, and it's like, okay, this is a beast, and then it like kills someone. It's like one of your beasts killed the new mayor, or like someone who's running for mayor, and it's like, okay, that's raising the stakes arguably high. Like, it's weird because part of me is like, aren't Harry Potter supposed to be for like kids? Not like super young kids, but for like 12-year-olds. And like, you can have death for like 12-year-olds, but it's just like, it's weird that like, why would a 12-year-old care about a mayoral candidate in the first place, right? Even if you're like 17, do you really care about a mayoral candidate dying outside of just like, oh, there's something going on, right? It feels like a weird choice of the raising the stakes. But it gets into be like, okay, actually, it's not a beast, it's a magical boy who's having emotional issues, and they gotta save the magical boy who's having emotional issues. And then at the end of the movie, it looks like he dies. Like, a bunch of magic cops need to differentiate here, but they're effectively the same thing, because they basically show up, they take their wands, and they just go, and they just shoot at this Obscurial, and they just straight up kill Credence, which is the boy. And like, you're like, oh, you know, that's kind of sad. The boy died. Spoilers, he didn't. He survived somehow, because he just shows him in the second movie, and they're like, actually, he didn't die. Feel like he should have died. I feel like there's a lot of mistakes that go from the first movie to the second movie, which would just make this entirely bad, but ugh. And then after that happens, the other bad guy, because the magical boy is obviously like, he's a magical boy, he doesn't know any better, he's just a boy. Like, the reason this has been happening is because the one of the head aurors or whatever, who's been like having the boy rely on him. It turns out he's Grindelwald, this character that you've been you hear about in the background every so often. Like, he's the big criminal guy, and it's like, oh, Mr. Graves is actually Grindelwald, and it's like, oh, that's an okay reveal. I'm kind of okay with that. And then they just go to jail, and I was like, that's okay. It's all right. That's the first movie, and it's okay. And there's a few other things I want to say about this. But I want to look back and chat real quick. What's up, Brew? Happy Monday, welcome in. I am talking about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I watched all 3 movies this weekend. It was okay, and then it got worse. It was meant to be 5 movies? Oh my god. The third movie, you have the excuse with the Griffin, but the election plot is just dumb. Yes, we're gonna talk about that, Kiwi. We are gonna talk about that election plot. It's such a I have so many questions on the way that magical society holds their elections, and like, I get it. Like, I get what they're doing in like a general sense about like, oh, how easy it is for dictators or people with bad intentions to possibly raise through the ranks of power by relying on just obfuscating the truth and relying on the inaction of others, right? Doing the easy thing versus doing the good thing, right? But then it's like, what do you mean that their election system is that they have a little baby animal bow to a thing, and then their voting system is they just shoot off fireworks of the color of the candidate? Like, I know it's a movie, but like, and I know it's about magic, but like, they don't like do actual voting. Like, it's like, what? Cause then this is spoilers for the third one. We're gonna go back and talk on this more, but like, then after they elect Hitler, then someone else runs up and is like, actually, that baby animal is dead. Here's the real baby animal. And they put the real baby animal down, and it bows to Dumbledore. He's like, oh no, not me. And then the baby animal goes and bows to someone else. And then Dumbledore and Grindelwald fight. And then while they're fighting, they apparently shot off more fireworks, but they're now yellow fireworks instead of green fireworks, and now Santos won. And it's like, what? How does this work? Where was the governing body for this? Do they not just, when did things become official? Like, what? I don't, how is this transfer of power work? It's so dog. What is this? Like, I was just, the last 30 minutes of that movie were just like, why are they doing this? Like, why? How does this society function on the day by day, dude? Like, it's so stupid. I love it in a way because it is so stupid, but it's just like, what's going on? And also Nagini is in the second one. I'm not even at that part yet, but Nagini, the snake that Voldemort has, is in the second one, and she's not a snake. She's just a lady that gets to turn into a snake, and then she doesn't show up for the third one at all. Like, what happened? Why does she not show up again at the third one? Like, what's going on? Why do they write Nagini out? Why do they make Nagini a character that's a snake lady and then just write her out? Like, I'm gonna forget that? And also, it's so insane. It's so insane. There are so many other things that I haven't even talked about. And it's actually, the more I think about it, the more crazy this thing is. Because yes, what Ben said, I'm still scrolled up in chat, by the way. It's 100% like a mixture of nostalgia and book reader bait. But at the same time, it's just weird. Like, it made me hate Dumbledore, actually. Like, I was like neutral on Dumbledore. I never read the last books. I read the first ones and I watched all the movies again recently, and I was like, Dumbledore's fine. Like, I get it. He's like the smart guy. They made me hate Dumbledore somehow. He's so smarmy. The fact that the Okapi, I know it's like a Quillin, but I kept calling it an Okapi in my head when I was watching the movie. I don't even know if it looks like an Okapi. What does an Okapi look like? That's actually not that far off. Hold on. Sorry, I'm going to show you two images, and I need you guys to like tell me the difference between them. Open image, new tab. They're kind of close, honestly. Okay, so we got... That's an Okapi, okay? You guys got to remember this, because it's going to actually reduce... It's going to get rid of this image and put in a new image, right? That's an Okapi. And then... It's kind of the same. It's got a little more scaliness in it, but like I kept in my head, this is a Quillin. This is the thing. This is like the groundhog that determines the leader of the wizarding world, right? But like, it looks like an Okapi to me, and so I kept calling it an Okapi in my head when I was watching the movie. That's unrelated. I just wanted to, if I say Okapi, I'm talking about that thing. Let me read the rest of the chat real quick, because I definitely like went off on a giant tangent there. Third movie had the excuse with the Griffin, but the election plot is dumb. Yes, I agree. That caused the tangent. There were meant to be 5 movies, but the second one was so bad they changed it. I agree the second one was bad, but like there's still... The third movie is still left on a cliffhanger, which is insane. Like if the third movie like ended with like them defeating Grindelwald, I'd be like, okay, sure, whatever. But like the third movie, like they didn't defeat Grindelwald. Like what happens? Like I kind of want to know now, right? We didn't hear about him since the Harry Potter books movies. Grindelwald or Newt Scamander? I like Newt if it's Newt you're talking about, because I know he's the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But like that book is in the books. It's not unlike the magic system my and my friends OCs abide by. Less death usually though. The which part's the magic system? The part where an Okapi determines your free world's leader? Soon they stopped the series partially because of the Credence actor and partially because of the author. Yeah, the Credence actor, author, and then also this is another part I wanted to talk about. At the time, right? Because Johnny Depp was in a trial between the second and third movies. If you watch, Johnny Depp is the actor for Grindelwald at the end of the first movie when he shows up as Grindelwald, and then the second movie, and then the third movie, it's Mads Mikkelsen instead, which I love Mads Mikkelsen, love him, one of my celebrity crushes, he's great. But like he just shows up, and they don't like even do like a line where it's like, oh, Grindelwald, I see you've changed your face because you're hiding from the cops or anything like that. No, they just go, and like I knew about that, but like if you didn't know that like Johnny Depp was like going through a trial, and they were like, oh, we're gonna like be careful with this one, and we're gonna replace the actor with Mads Mikkelsen, which again, love Mads Mikkelsen. I still feel like I would have rather seen Johnny Depp in that role, but that's whatever. I can look past that. I can't look past the fact that they didn't like talk about the fact that they just changed their actor for one of the main characters with no like not even a single throwaway line of dialogue. What? Like what's going on? Why did they do that? Literally, the first scene of the movie is Dumbledore at a coffee shop or a tea shop or whatever the hell, and he's like sitting there, and Grindelwald comes up, and maybe I missed it. Maybe it was literally a one-line dialogue that they barely even paid attention to. But like he just shows up, and it's like you're just supposed to know it's Grindelwald. And again, I knew it was Grindelwald, but like what? Like insane that they were just like, yeah, whatever, just play it. It's just like what? Seems like they're throwing swords into a like election system. It's not unlike that, Kiwi. It's not unlike that. It's a bad system of governance. But also, I think it needs to be said, this is how the American wizarding community does things. Which part specifically? If you're talking about the part where all the American oars shot at the boy, yes. If you're talking about the part where the Okapi determines the leader of the free wizarding world, that was all of it wizard kind. They made a point of that because those elections were held in Bhutan. I know because I got excited because they said Bhutan. And I was like, that's a country I don't think about it often. Wait, Dumbledore, I think I got left behind by the rant. Don't worry, there's like 4 rants, and I'm definitely behind like 2 rants now when I'm reading these comments. Why was Dumbledore up for consideration in the American Wizards? It wasn't the American Wizards, Soltari. That's why it's even more confusing. Because for some reason, there's also the thing about, it's the International Wizard Confederation or something like that. Like, it's like, what? Like, why is there an International Wizarding Confederation? I thought they were just like different. I guess that makes sense. That's fine, I guess. It's one of those things where it's like, I think Harry Potter is okay as like a concept, but the more like they get into the nitty gritty, it falls apart, which I think is a common complaint, for lack of a better word, that some people have about the Wizarding world, where it's like, it works on a surface level, but it's not like it's not Lord of the Rings, where it's like, this was thought of before time. It's very much just like they're putting in bricks as they think of them, and then some of the bricks don't really mesh out that well, is the big issue with it. Baby Griffin, bowing to a wizard is no basis for a system of government. It's true! It's true! Nagini was written out because the actress was pregnant, plus the pandemic. That's fair. That's fine. I just, like, also Tina was written out as well, which, again, I'm fine with. Like, I understand that actors and actresses being written out is fine. But, like, part of me is like, why did you have Nagini in the first place? You could have just had, like, anything else. You didn't have to, like, have Nagini, the snake, actually be, like, a snake woman. And then, like, part of me is like, she didn't do anything, in fairness. Like, she was important. She was a character for Credence to, like, rely on. But, like, she didn't do anything Nagini-like outside of turning into a snake. Like, that's the part where I was like, you could have had that be anyone. And, like, maybe in the grand scheme, in the 5-movie scheme, they had, like, better plans for Nagini going over to the dark side, and, like, Credence and, Grindelwald would, like, take Nagini, and that's why Nagini's evil, and that's why Nagini, like, goes with Voldemort, right? But, like, basing only off these 3 movies where Nagini was in one of them and she did nothing outside of, like, be there for Credence, like, 3 times, I was like, you could do more with that. Fun fact, when people ask J.K. Rowling, since when she decided Nagini should be a real person, she just answered 30 years ago when I first wrote the first Harry Potter. I think I heard about that before. That's so insane to me. Hey, what's up, Violet? Welcome on in. Looks like my dog. Your dog's an Okapi? That's awesome. Or a Quillen, either or. If it bows to you, that means you can lead in the free wizarding world, Violet. If you had a 1% in a different tab that had higher audio, and that Crasher was still audible. Oh, you had me at 1%. Thank you. I try. Valid crash out. Which crash are we even talking about? Is it the Nagini one? Because I feel like the Nagini one was like the biggest one where I was like, what's going on here? News reference BS Grindelwald. Okay. Wait, is Grindelwald in the original? Like, that's only a book thing, not a movie thing. Then probably in relation to like Voldemort learning from Grindelwald, right? Probably said something about people dying when they suppress their magic or something. Oh yeah. Again, I think that's actually like a fine concept as a whole, and like the idea of that being the thing that actually is the villain, the thing that's like, it's not a beast, it's actually a boy suppressing his magic. Also kind of fine. I think they could have handled it a little bit better, but overall, I think the first, like, legitimately, the first Fantastic Beasts movie, solid. Not high art, not great, but, like, I see what's going on there. And I want to go off on a tangent on Jacob and Queenie and how they get ruined in the second and third ones, but, like, I want to catch up with chat before I do that. Because, like, Jacob and Queenie are my favorite part of Fantastic Beasts 1, and then it gets bad. Part of it where you said people Mads is amazing. I wouldn't want anyone else to replace him but Mads. That's like fair, yeah, right? Like, you can't, like, it's Mads. It's Mads Mikkelsen. He's in Casino Royale. He's in Kojima projects. He's in the Danish movie Binge Drinking. I don't know what I forgot what it's called. Scald. It's not Scald. Whatever it is. So Tara, you might know what it's called. Druck. There it is. I'm glad I can look over at my stream preview and see the answer. Thank you for that, by the way. Because I'm just currently scrolled up in my actual chat still. It's like those animes who show season 1. At the end, they say, hey, buy the book. Kinda. Who's Wizard Roosevelt? World building is hard. World building is kind of hard, yeah. Which is why it's like you can tell that they're just like building up the world as they see it instead of building the world first and like making stories within it in some ways and shapes, right? Which there's nothing necessarily bad for it, but it's one of those things. It's like when you're coding, right? You've ever heard the idea of like, okay, I made this code for this one reason, and then like they start to add other bits of code onto that, and it's like you get the bloat and you just get, it's like this code was not made for this other purpose. That's kind of what it feels like in some ways. Here's it, Moby. Happy Monday, welcome in. How can we give you $10 to the guy at the door? Moby, you want to go get that back? There's no doorman here. I think you just gave that to like some stranger. You're ranting so intense that I couldn't follow what you were saying very well. There's an 80% chance I misheard something. If I did and no magic expression death happened, hit me with wrench. No, you're fine, Dolly. Magic expression death basically does happen. There's a lot going on because there's the idea of magic suppression death, and then what actually happens with it, very convoluted. Appreciate the backstory that they gave her, TBH. I thought it was interesting. There could be ideas, but the fact that like it happened and then they didn't do anything with it is the bigger issue with it for Nagini. Hey, Bossman, seen any cool movies? I saw Eddington not too long ago and highly recommend movie theater. I don't know what Eddington is. We were talking about, we're currently talking about, what is it? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That's the movie that I just saw. All 3 of them, technically. It's a trilogy. Eddington is a Western thriller. I need to go check this out. Thank you. I like both of those things. I don't know if this was like confirmed, but from what I've heard, Nagini ends up with Voldemort because by that point, her curse is in full effect, and as a snake, no one can speak to her except Tom Riddle Voldemort, who, as we know, talks to snakes. Because he's a parcel tongue. Grindelwald is mentioned in the movies. He's literally the one that tells Voldemort where to find Dumbledore's wand and grave or whatever. What? Oh, is he the crazy dude? Oh my god. Wow. Hold on. He's alive still? He is! Wow! Oh, that removes a lot of stakes from the game from it then, honestly. That's unfortunate. That's the other thing, is this is a much smaller issue, IMO. And this is more like, to me, or just, that's like the issue with any prequel story. To me, I was like, well, I know that Voldemort doesn't die. Or not Voldemort, I know that Dumbledore doesn't die, so there's like no, you could still have stakes, right? But it's just like, nothing bad will probably happen to him. Now I know that Grindelwald's alive, is like, I don't care. It's like, what do you mean? He goes to jail, sure. And like, there are things that could happen there, but... Aww. That's interesting, though. Thank you for that. Yo, what's up, Aeon? Happy Monday, welcome in. Enjoy your lurking. We're gonna talk about a 10-year-old movie from a failed franchise that most people dislike. Like, you at least show images of the characters you're talking about. Fair. I'm also, like scrolling through. I'm really far behind, and I'm talking about a lot of things. That's very fair. Kind of want to watch An Elephant Sitting Still, but it's like 4 hours long. Is that an actual movie, or is that like a joke movie? Like, I'm actually really interested in this now. Because that makes it sound like, oh no, that's like an actual movie, okay. Because like, An Elephant Sitting Still being 4 hours long sounds like the name of a movie that they would have made in 1920, where it is literally just an elephant sitting still, and I didn't know if that was like a highbrow like art joke, Kiwi. Also, any news of that US Open? When you came off of that? Not at all. Oh, is the old dude that stole a hat? I literally only know the headline for that. I know nothing else. I know nothing about tennis. Never getting over J.K. Rowling lore that Nagini is a transformed Asian woman. It's so insane. I need to milk her. What do you mean by that? I'm so glad I caught up, and the thing I'm caught up to is I need to milk her, which I'm so... What? When did this happen? Also about Newt, I'm glad I'm caught up though. About Newt, pretty sure he's referencing the credits of The Prisoner of Azkaban, where they show the credits on the map. I don't doubt that. Like, Newt Scamander being referenced, I knew for a fact, because I thought, like, as well, they talk about Fantastic Beasts of Where to Find Them, like the book itself in Harry Potter at some point. Or he just shows them the map at some point, I forget. Huh. But yeah, overall, first movie pretty solid. If you've never seen it, the best part of the first movie is and I can show images for this one because I'm going to be talking about these two characters a lot. I need an image of these two characters. There we go. So there are two characters that I really, really like. They're my favorite characters in the first movie and only in the first movie because I don't know if I like the way that they were handled in the second and third movie. And I need for people who have seen this movie, I need your opinions on this. These are the best characters in the first movie, and I think the second movie ruins them and the third movie tries to fix them, but I think the damage is done. They weren't handled very well. In the first movie, the dude on the right is Jacob, and he's a nomad. He's a muggle, right? He runs into Newt really early on in the movie. Newt being your magizoologist, your main character, right? And Jacob is like, and Newt is at the bank because he lost one of his magical creatures that like likes to take gold and shiny trinkets, and so obviously it went to the bank, right? Because Newt was in front of the bank. And while Newt is trying to track it down in the bank, he runs into Jacob, who is a baker who's trying to get a loan to start a bakery, who's trying to like get donuts, which to me at the time, who was eating a donut watching the movie, I felt a kindred spirit at the time, right? So I was like, I hope he does well. And then as I find out, he's a main character in the movie because he just keeps showing up. Because he ends up switching briefcases with Newt. So Jacob has the briefcase with the creatures in it. He accidentally releases them. And Newt has the case with the donuts, and it's like, oh, these aren't my creatures, these are donuts, right? And then things happen, they have to track down Jacob, they get him, and instead of obliviating him, which is, you know, wiping his memories in the magical world, they're like, we need to take him as like a witness. And so Jacob, the dude, Newt, the magizoologist, your main character, Tina, not pictured, a cop. And this is Tina's sister, Queenie. They all have like dinner together, and it's so adorable actually in a way, right? Because Queenie, I'm pretty sure it's Queenie, she makes a little like apple strumpet or apple strudel using magic, which Jacob is a baker, right? Like that's such a good scene because it's like Jacob who's like, I put all my heart and soul into baking these things. And there was a scene in the bank when Jacob's trying to get his loan where it's like, you know, kid, they got machines that make hundreds of donuts a day. What are you gonna do to beat that, right? And so in a way, seeing Queenie making a sweet just by flicking her wrist with a wand, right? There's things you could say about that, but there's a beauty and a magic in it that you can tell that like they could be kindred spirits. They could like there could be something going for them, and you know they end up getting like in a relationship together. And at the end of the movie, they gotta wipe his memory because he's a nomad, because he shouldn't know about the magical world, and so it's fairly sad that like they go and wipe his memory. But then as like the stinger at the end of the movie, you see him. He's got his bakery because Newt gave him secretly a lot of money to start his bakery, and in his bakery he's got all these little like baked treats that look like the monsters that Newt had like around, right? And it's like, oh, that's so adorable. And then you have Queenie walk into the bakery, and then they look at each other, and it's like a aw, like there's a cuteness in there. It's a solid, simple story. It's great. And then in the second movie, Queenie charms him to like fall in love and to get married, and then she becomes a Nazi. And I think I don't know about this, but I don't know if in the third movie, if I was Jacob, that I'd be like, you know what? Let's get back together, honey. You can make some mistakes. It's fine. Like, to me, that's what it felt like. Because in the second movie, Queenie's charmed Jacob because Jacob, like, they learn about, oh, Jacob relearns about the magical world. Because it, like, if they ended, like, they should not have been in the second movie. They should not have been in the second movie. They had a perfect ending, like wrapped up in a bow, like, oh, will they, won't they? And they didn't need to be in the second movie. But you know what? Everyone else, including me, was like, they're so adorable that someone out there was probably like, hey, we gotta write them in the second movie now. How do we do that? And it's like, oh, just hand wave the fact that, like, yeah, she taught him about the magical world again. And then, like, he wanted to break up with her. He wasn't, like, ready to get married, I think is what it was. Because at the time, in America especially, it's like muggles, no mages and magicians, no mages and wizards can't get, like, married. It's verboten, right? And so because of that, she charms him because he's like, oh, I don't know if we should do this, Queenie. Like, you know what they say, yo, people in life, but we can't get together. And she's like, don't worry. And she charms him. They go to see Newt in Britain. Newt is like, oh, he's charmed, releases the charm, and then, like, all hell breaks loose. Queenie runs away, joins Grindelwald because she's like, sweetie, don't worry, he'll make it better. He'll make it so we can show our love for each other. And it's like, Grindelwald is talking about killing people that don't practice magic. He sees them as beneath you. What are you talking about, girl? How does this work for you? And then, like, in the third movie, like, Jacob still loves her. And then she's just like, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry I got a little silly, and I'm sorry that I was, like, with a dude that wants to kill your kind and start a war. And, like, he forgives her, and they get back together, and they get married at the end of the third movie. And I'm just like, they could have ended at the first movie. They did not have to have that arc, because I don't like it. Like, they killed both those characters a little bit. It's like, what are you doing? I guess I get it at the, like, I think I'm okay with that at the end. I don't know. I don't think I am, actually. It's so insane to do that. And it's just like, why? Why? Thoughts? Chat? I love them. I'd agree with that. I love his character in the first movie. He's so good. And the thing was, I was like, who is this character? Who is this guy? Like, who's this actor? And the thing is, I found out the reason I knew him is because way back when I was in, like, middle school, high school, I watched Comedy Central a lot. And, you know, Comedy Central will, like, replay some movies every so often because they'll have, like, the rights to them. They replayed a movie called Balls of Fury a lot. He's the main character in Balls of Fury, and that's why I knew him. And I thought that was really funny because I was like, why do I know them? Why does he look really familiar to me? And I was like, oh, it's from Balls of Fury, the ping pong movie where he plays Randy Daytona. Insane glow up. Love this dude. She's so obsessed with Kimmy Image that she always knew everything she planned. Oh, J.K. Rowling with like being like, I've been doing this all along instead of just making stuff up as you go along. The image of them gives my vibes of Mortician Gomez Adams somehow. He looks very Gomez Adamsy. I fully agree with that. Obviously, she doesn't have the hair for it, but like, no, this mustache and this suit, very Gomez Adamsy. Fully understand that, Dolly. I remember them. I like them. They're so good in the first movie. In the second movie, like, that's the thing. In the second movie, I think I'm okay with it. Like, if they want to make Queenie a Nazi, go full Nazi. Have her go full Nazi. Don't, like, take it back to the third movie and just be like, actually, honey, I was wrong. Well, I guess that's kind of, like, I don't know. They just handled it poorly. Why did they bring her back? Why did they make her a Nazi or a Nazi sympathizer at worst? Or at best, technically. And, like, what? Like, what's going on here? It would have just been the first movie. That's all we needed to do. But they brought it back for the second. It's just like, what's going on? It was my first series, and I've learned a lot since then. And then go on to write other stuff instead of getting into fights on Twitter. It's so true. I can fix her. Unironically, that's what this felt like, was that it was like they're both like, I can fix the other. Like, in the first movie, it was like they're both kind of ditzy and cute and like simple and naive in a way, right? And it's like, I like that a lot. But by the end of the second movie, it's very much just like, I don't want to say toxic, because Jacob's a sweetheart all the way through. I'd argue he's an American dummy, but he's got like that heart of gold. He's just trying to make his bakery and stuff, but he can be a little blunt. But like, I don't know. I think Queenie literally like finding like Queenie being at a rally for Grindelwald and then being like, Jacob, come here, honey, we gotta go listen to him. I think he's got some good ideas. Like, unironically, more or less what she said, little bit of a red flag for me. It was so insane. Like, I'm not mad he's in the second movie. I'm just sad it went. Yes, it like basically that. Like, the way that they went was so just bad. Like, I feel like it would have been great if they were like a little teaser, or like they go back to New York for like a second. And it's like, oh look, there they are, they're running a thing. But like I feel like they should not have been a main character, or if they did, they should not have been a main character that way. Just very poorly done. Why not let them be like background characters? That's what I'm saying. Why don't they do that? It's so insane. Really got annoyed when she erased Grindelwald's relation with Dumbledore. They did not remove that. They brought that back, Gabriel. I think you're missing some things. Or maybe they brought that back after the between the books and the movies, because the third movie is literally about Grindelwald and Dumbledore. Like they have a thing at the end of the second movie. You see that Grindelwald and Dumbledore have like a blood pact that they can't harm each other. The third movie is all about them being like, we loved each other, but we couldn't stay together because of our differences in view. You know, one of them being Wizard Hitler and the other being Dumbledore, who honestly I kind of don't like him now. Dumbledore's written like an anime, like, I know everything you're planning, but like bad. I kind of hate him. And I think the thing that definitively made me not like Dumbledore, just as a character, in the context of these three movies, in the Harry Potter itself, he's fine. He does his role as like the old wizard. It's fine. But like in these movies, I think the thing that really killed it was when the Okapi bowed to Dumbledore, and it's like, aren't the Okapis only supposed to bow to people with like pure hearts? Like Dumbledore has clearly done not great things. He's such a manipulator. He should not. Okapi should not be bowing to Dumbledore. What's going on here? That just felt like, what are you writing? That was insane to me. It's like the Okapi bows to people with pure hearts, and it's like, what? Legitimately, can we talk for a second? So skipping the second movie because it's whatever. It's about Grindelwald being Hitler. And also about the Obscurious Credence, aka Ezra Miller, like not being dead and trying to find his mother, and then finding out like relationship with her. Which again, I think the Credence should have also died in the first movie. I think the thing with the second movie that makes it bad, and I'm just gonna breeze past this because I don't think there's a lot to talk about there. I think it's just a bad movie, or at least like a lackluster movie. It's just like, why did they bring these two back? Why did they bring Credence back? Like, it's a lot of characters that's just like, you could have like done something else with it. But like they brought them back and they did like the most basic thing with them that wasn't like, it was just very like weakly done, I think, IMO. It was fine. But like it could have been so much different or so much better, but it was just overall just fine. And it really would rely on the third movie being really good to like make it worth it, but it wasn't. So the second movie then gets much worse by comparison, right? It's very much like in a trilogy, your first movie should be the thing that sets the stage and should be like pretty good. Your second movie should be the one that like either raises the bar, and if it doesn't raise the bar, it will really rely on the third movie to tentpole it between the two good movies. And then if you make the third movie bad, it stinks, right? If you make the third movie good, it can raise up the bad second act. And if the second act is already good, the third movie really doesn't matter that much, right? Star Wars 1, aka Star Wars New Hope, good, solid. Episode 5, really good. Episode 6, it's okay. So overall, you got like a mountain. It's fine. Fantastic Beasts, or the new trilogy, right? First one, it's fine, it's good. Second one, third one, awful. So like it just ruins the second one by like process of being related, where like it wasn't able to do anything new with the second one to make the third one like good. And so both of them just get much worse by relation with each other, right? IMO. I did not know they added the relation back. I remember the whole situation from when it was happening in 2015. Oh yeah, they definitely added it back then. They definitely like retconned it or went back on it, because yeah, the entire second and definitely the third movie are all about like their relationship being together. What do I want to talk about? I luckily wrote my notes down for the third movie. Again, first movie, great. Or at least solid, right? Like, I would go and watch the first movie again if I was bored. because I think it was fine. Second movie, it's like, why do they add these things in? Why do they bring back characters they didn't need to bring back? Kind of whatever. Third movie was interesting. It's also the one that I watched today, right? Here are my notes, verbatim. The worst part is at one point, I accidentally hit escape instead of enter, or I hit like the X button instead of the like enter button on my phone when I was typing my notes down. So I lost a fair chunk of notes, but this is what I have. So they don't address the actor change, which I talked about that. It's fine. That's a small nitpick, but it's just like weird. I'm going to move Queenie and Jacob a little bit further down, by the way. So they attack Newt for a Quillen, and then Grindelwald just kills the Quillen, which they explain that in the movie later on. But like, your second scene of the movie is that Newt is going to go like, you know, help an animal give birth, which I thought he was just doing magizoologist things, but it turns out that's like a magical okapi that like will make the leader of the free world, like make people acknowledge the leader of the free world. So it's like, okay, weird setup, very weird setup for a movie. And it feels like that setup's only in here so they could have Newt, what's his name? Newt Scamander, the magizoologist, have something to do, zoologist-relatedly. It's fine. Here's a nitpick that I had written down. Why is Grindelwald calling Credence Credence after Grindelwald, at the end of the second movie, Grindelwald is like, Credence, your name isn't Credence, that's the name they gave you. Your real name is like Albus Dumbledore. Not Albus, it's like something else Dumbledore. He's a Dumbledore, right? And it's like, oh, in my head, if you're a villain and you have this dude on your side that's like a young boy that's like trying to be like, you know, he doesn't know his powers and you're like trying to like use him for your own means, you want to like be like, boy, I've restored your old name to you. I'm going to call you by this name to show you that we have a special relationship, that you are powerful in your own right. I'm not going to give you your old name. I'm not going to give you the bad name. I'm going to let you use your good original name, right? But he just calls him Credence, and it's like, what? That's like that's a minor nitpick, but that like is such a that's such a weird decision of why did Grindelwald call him Credence instead of whatever Dumbledore he is? Because it feels like he's demeaning Credence, when if you're Grindelwald, you want to like feed into that and be like, I'm gonna call you Dumbledore, they're gonna call you Credence, see, I'm the one who actually looks out for you. And it's just like, why would you do that? Because then later on there's a scene with Dumbledore, like the actual Dumbledore, and like Credence, and Dumbledore is like, Credence, no, wait, that's not your name is so and so Dumbledore. And I was like, yes, see, that's an important part, is that Credence is not his actual name. His actual name is something Dumbledore, right? And the fact that like you guys, do you understand this? Do you understand the nitpick I'm talking about here? Where it's like, why would Grindelwald not try to like, you're trying to have a character show that you care about them. So you want to call them their true name, and you want to like gas into them, and you want to give the idea of like, we're a family here. I'm going to call you by your family name. You're part of this family. And they're going to call you Credence because they know you as Credence. That's not your real name. And like, the character that does that is instead Dumbledore later on, after Dumbledore defeats Credence, which I get. Like, that scene should have happened, where it's like Dumbledore is like, actually, oh, my bad, I've been calling you the bad name, I'm going to call you by your good name, and I'm going to accept you as a member of this family. That plot point, valid. The earlier part, very nitpicky, but it's like, why did they do that? There's the blood trough, which is like the blood oath, and like, apparently, this is another nitpick. So Grindelwald and Dumbledore fuse their blood into a little magical item, and like, if one of them thinks about killing the other, the blood item will like stop them. But like, when they're talking about destroying the blood item, why doesn't that like also stop them? Like, what? Like, that's also a nitpicky thing. I'm reading too much into this. Sometimes magic doesn't matter, but that was one where it was like, what? Why is this like this? Why is there only one of them too? Why do they both have one of these? Why did they steal it from Grindelwald in the last movie, and why does Dumbledore have it now? Why can't they both just have one that stops them from doing that? I don't know, that was weird. Nagini's just not in this movie. I have that written down. What's with Goldie, Jacob, and Lolly? So there's a scene where, in the third movie, Goldie's a Nazi, Jacob's back in New York making his bakery, and then in order to have Jacob join the movie, they have Lolly, which is a new character, who's like a professor of like Defense Against the Dark Arts or whatever. It doesn't matter. She's a professor. I don't think she's like a professor of Defense Against the Dark Arts. I think she's like a PhD person, like a doctor. They have her sitting across the bench from Jacob's shop, she has some of her friends or like relatives go and harass her so that Jacob will go out of the shop to stop them from harassing her. And then she stops them as like, actually, I was just doing this to make sure you were a good person. Why? That's so complicated. You could just, like, that doesn't make her a smart character. That's not like a good test of character. I think that's just stupid. Like, what? Like, it all, I get it. Like, I understand. But, like, why did they make that fake? Why didn't they make it so, like, she was actually being, like, accosted by, like, real people? Why did they have to make it be like, oh, actually, I was just testing you. Those weren't actual thugs. Those were, like, my nephews or whatever. Like, what was the point of that? Very weird. Because at one point, like, they're harassing her, and she's like, you gotta raise your arms more and, like, be more, like, menacing. And they're, like, doing that. And then he comes out and, like, stops them. And they turn on him, and then she just petrifies them. And she's like, no, go off, boys. I don't know. They're just related to me. It's just like, what? What was the point of that scene? I think the plan, like, apparently because Grindelwald killed the Okapi, he can now see the future because the Okapi can see the future. And so the entire middle part of this movie is basically like Dumbledore's like spy network movie, which the idea is there, but I think it's handled really weirdly because it's just like, since Grindelwald can see the future, I'm gonna send you all 5 out. They get like a team of Newt, Jacob, Lolly, Yusuf, and Thaddeus, which is Theseus, which is Newt's brother, and Yusuf is like a dude from the second movie. He doesn't really matter, honestly. And he like sends them out. He's like, you guys go do a thing. And they all go do a thing, and then they go back to Hogwarts, and it's like, yeah, the things you did kind of made things worse. It just felt like they just had to fill an hour of the movie by them just, like, having an assassination attempt, and, like, whatever. Oh, also, Birdie, what's her name? Newt's assistant was there, too. I don't know. Very weird. They give Jacob a wand. That's kind of cool. It's a fake wand, but, like, it's whatever. Oh, his name is Aurelius. So at one point, here we go. This is, luckily I wrote down notes. The unfortunate thing is I did not fact check my notes. I just wrote them down as they were happening. So I have another note. So in relation to the Grindelwald calling the Credence part, at one point, Credence is like, when Credence is talking to Dumbledore, right? That's what happens, is that Credence is talking to Dumbledore, and he's like, my name isn't Credence, my name is Aurelius. And it's like, I get that. He should be mad about that. So why isn't Grindelwald calling him Aurelius? Why did Grindelwald call him Credence? I feel like that's just an error. I think they messed up and they didn't like check to make sure that Grindelwald was calling him by like his name that he wants to be called by. Because like why is Aurelius mad that he's not being called Aurelius by Dumbledore when he's also not being called it by like by Grindelwald? Which you could argue, you can hand wave. I would argue hand wave, like, oh, because Aurelius is scared of Grindelwald or because of other reason like that, and he's not actually part of the family. But like, I think it's a poorly written villain then. This is a real. I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna read up in chat because this is a real question that I want an answer to. Do wizards need wands to do magic? Like in Harry Potter 1, isn't Harry Potter just like doing magic without a wand early on? Like, why do they all need wands? Answer that question for me while I scroll up in chat and see what I missed. What I can gather from what is he saying, the twist is not foreshadowed. The twist is fine, good even, if it is foreshadowed. Blindsiding with the twist just makes it kind of bad. For which part? I'd have to scroll up for that. Unfortunately, you can't like look at the replying links very well on this. So it's because you don't expect Queenie to even listen to Grindelwald. So it's like, oh no, then you watch her downfall. I don't know if that's a twist. It is very much like an oh no when Queenie becomes a Nazi. But like, and like I'm kind of okay. They could have done interesting things with that is the thing, right? Like that's why I was like the third movie really like it's really important that the third movie took that characterization. I'm okay with Queenie being a Nazi. I would be okay with that, but she cops out so early in the third movie that like her downfall is very quickly brushed under the rug to return to the status quo, right? They should have made Queenie just a villain in the third movie instead of having her get married to Jacob again at the end of the third, or not again, but get married to Jacob. They should have had like Queenie go full mask off, because then that would have been a very like sad, but very like real character of just like it shows that a person can be persuaded to believe hateful rhetoric so much that they disregard their loved ones, or they try to get their loved ones with them, but their loved ones brush them aside and say like, hold on, no, do you hear what you're saying? And I wanted Queenie, if she was gonna go Nazi, that she should have gone full mask off and then like tried to rationalize like you know what, actually I never loved Jacob, I was so wrong, I was so blinded, right? But they chickened out, and that's why I'm upset with it. Who's Queenie? Queenie's this one on the left. I don't remember, I've been boycotting this stuff for a decade now. Did she become a Nazi? She became a Nazi, yes. Grindelwald manipulates her into thinking if she supports him, follows him, he can give her the chance to be with the man she loves. Basically, like most figures again to Grindelwald, he BS'd her into supporting him and listening to his ideas. Yes, which I'm actually okay with. I'm fully okay with that. And I wish that there was more of like that in the movie, in the third movie specifically. But I feel like really, like in the third movie, they just kind of like, they just have her get back together with Jacob fairly early on. Like it's very much like they pull their punch. Anything new from her I'm not going to consume. Understandable, yeah, I get that. I fully get that. There's normally something, anything, I mean in real life, to foreshadow a twist like that, but I'm willing to agree to disagree. I feel like the twist was kind of there, again. Like, yeah, the way that I said it might have been missing some things, but, like, I think, like, it's not even a twist, right? It is just, like a character thing in there. But it's just, like, it feels wrong on the character that I knew in the first movie, and I don't think they do good with the last part. Have a good night, Ann. Thank you for popping in. I hope that wasn't too long ago. Unless you do blood magic, you need a wand, I think. They explained in the first book when Harry got his wand. Oh, okay. What was blood magic? Need a new series to cone out with wizards and fantasy and stuff. I can release with Harry Potter and I can stop thinking about it. You should go read Lord of the Rings. That's wizards and fantasy. It's goated. Also, if you want modern, yes, Witch Hat Atelier, actually. I'm only like 3 or 4 volumes in because my bookstore that I go to read books at did not have like the 4th volume in for a long time. I think I'm on the 5th volume, 4th or 5th. I'm on whatever volume is when all the wax people melt. I'm gonna say that because that's very vague, but if you know, you know. That was really cool. I didn't finish that volume because I had to like leave halfway through, but like that was really cool. Also, I'm really sad that boy got turned into a wolf dog. That's so messed up. He was my favorite character. Why don't my favorite characters get turned into bad things? The world is good. Yes. Let's talk about Witch Hat Atelier, actually. Get rid of this guy. So can I show you guys my favorite Witch Hat Atelier panel again? What's his name? Quifrey? There we go. Can I find this? There it is. Oh, no, give me the full panel. Come on. Come on, Pinterest. It's such a well-drawn series. It's such a well-drawn, well-paneled series. There it is. There's the goat. Like, if you've never seen... I think this is... I think I can talk about it a little bit. I'm not going to spoil or anything, except for maybe the part I just said. The only other thing I'll say, that's a good point. If you're going to watch this, I'm not going to do it. It's a comic. There's no anime yet, but they're going to make an anime. Here's my one panel recommendation to go watch it. This is such a cool panel. Here's the entire thing, actually. But, like, it's so good. Like, the way that he's using the magic to, like, have the rain go around because he's, like, a water wizard, water witch, whatever. Like, it's so cool. And it does a really good job of, like, having, Like that naive, fluffy sense of like magic, and then also having like some dark and messed up stuff as well. But like it's just, oh, super duper good. Fruit is a good magician. I don't think Furin magic is the same as like this magic or Harry Potter magic. I will agree. I like Furin a lot, honestly. Except for again, I'm not a big fan of the exam arc, but like the first 2/3 of Furin are like some of my favorite anime of the last 3 years at least. It's just so nice when they're just doing like their episodic, like episode by episode, like going here, doing a thing. There's a party of 3 to 4 characters, right? Furin, Fern, Stark, and then Sign. It's really good Yashike almost, right? Just like a world that you can see yourself living in, even though like the world is also like, you know, fairly standard like fantasy, somewhat RPG related, or like just like what's the stupid native isekai is a term that you might hear, but it's not really native isekai because they're not like levels or anything like that. It's actually just like pure magic. There's not like a leveling system or anything. Like it's just actual straight up fantasy. But it's just like, it's so nice. It's so idyllic. And I think the big part with that is that the Persian quality is super nice. So you just get a lot of moments of nothing happening. And that's what I think makes a really good anime to me, is where you get those moments where you can just like let the characters breathe. You can just let it, like a scene breathe without having to like rush things through. And the first 2/3 of Furin has a lot of scenes where it's just like beautiful. There's no dialogue, and you're just like seeing something unfold or something happen. And it's so nice. There's less than 80 chapters easy to keep up. Really? I've already figured there'd be more than that. Because I guess 6 chapters per volume? That might track. Yeah, there's probably like, what, 12-ish volumes? That seems right from the amount of books I see at the bookstore. It's giving Katara. Oh, Katara from Avatar. A little bit. He's a water guy. Good witch episodic anime where she travels around to learn different magic and is looking for a master. Ooh. That could be cool. This and Dungeon Meshi is a really good manga magazine. Would recommend anything that comes out of it. Oh, I didn't know Dungeon Meshi came from the same one. That tracks then. Dungeon Meshi is also really good. That doesn't have that has witches in it, but it's like very different. But that's very like Dungeon Meshi. Was it Dungeon Meshi, Witch Hat Atelier, and Furin are like the 3 like renaissance of fantasy anime or fantasy manga, right? Which I agree with. At the very least, like I've watched 2, I've read the 3rd one, and they're just like they're nice worlds you can just like fit in, feel comfy in a way. Witch Hat also has a wizarding school. That's true. I haven't got to that part yet. I've been told it slows down a bit when it gets there, so I'm a little bit worried about that one, but I'm sorry, Kiwi, you're right. For some reason that's the idea that goes in my head first nowadays instead of just calling it fantasy, and I blame the internet for native isekai, but it's such a stupid term that it's kind of funny, and that's why it gets stuck in my head. Love when stories reference things the author likes, so it feels so personal and cute. It's so nice. Especially like when it isn't like overt, where it's just like a wink or a nod, and it's like you wouldn't have noticed that unless you knew that it was a direct reference to it, where it doesn't feel jarring, right? And you're just like, oh, they're just being like nerdy about the things they like. I've seen that title before. I know what that is. I guess I don't know what that is, but I've seen that title before at the very least. I've probably seen like stills and bits from it before. I think that does it have an anime actually? Or am I thinking of something else? It does have an anime. Okay, yes. I have seen that before then. I haven't seen it, but like I've seen bits of it, you know what I mean? Dungeon Meshi, Furin, and Witch Hat are the new big 3, but instead of being big 3 in sales, it's big 3 of modern fantasy. Yes. The trifecta. Best voice acting that year. Nice. Sometimes the drawing references are really funny. Danganronpa does it so well for comedy purposes. Danganronpa. I feel like there's a lot of, you see a lot of that in, it depends on the author, but some authors definitely do that a lot more than others. Like I feel like Kojima's another example of like Kojima will just like make a reference in a game. They'll be so overt or so off-putting, but like it can be sometimes done for like comedy purposes. Like it really just depends on like who your author is and how they handle it, where it can really shine, right? That's basically all I got though, honestly. My only other thing, looking at my notes for going back to Fantastic Beasts real quick, I still like, again, I think that election system is so stupid. When they elected what's his face? They elected Grindelwald, and then they're like, hold on, second Okapi comes out. It's not Grindelwald. It's like, what? Goofy little movie. Would not recommend it unless you really just want to. It's fine. Go watch the first one. If you like the idea, go watch the first one, is what I'd say. Second and third, be wary. They're fine. But like the first one, legitimately enjoyable little romp. I would probably watch again. Final Native Seikai 16. Now that's a series I would play. Final Fantasy 14, nah. Give me on that Final Native Seikai 14. Picorit, that's a good I completely forgot about Picorit being in Death Stranding. Very good example of just like, I like this thing, I'm gonna put this in my work. Because I was thinking like whenever he makes like movie references, but that's a perfect example of just like out of nowhere. I think it's year 2 where the character suddenly references something and the other character's like, don't do it. And then the character just flat out names the series they're referencing, and the other characters say, she said it anyway. just full on looking directly at the camera, breaking the fourth wall kind of moments. A lot of cuteness, a lot of beauty in that. Alright, sorry, Screw, do we have anything else? I only want to do a little small one. We had our big Blue Prince stream yesterday. Which, again, high-key, low-key. I'm probably going to go and do the other 20 puzzle boxes at some time if I get bored enough. Very good game. Talked about my movie obsession over the last weekend. I also saw like other things in the last like week or two that I saw. Big Lebowski, I saw that for the first time, pretty solid. I feel like there's like 1 or 2 other movies I've seen as well in the last week or two that I was like, I haven't seen these before, and I watched them. I was like, these are pretty good. Big Lebowski is probably the biggest name one on there off the top of my head, but did I watch any like animated things recently? I don't think I have, outside of finishing Apothecary Diaries, which was like a month ago, right? Grand Native Isekai versus Grand Blue Native Isekai versus, excuse me. But I think that's all I have. So insanely behind on anime. It's so... They just keep making it, right, Rue? Anime, games, just media in general. It's like, what? Stop. I'm not the first person to say this. I'm pretty sure I've stolen this. And I'm pretty sure I've said it before as well. But, like, can we just have, like, next year they don't make anything at all? Just let everyone catch up on everything that's out there. I gotta go play Silk Song. Along with everything else that's coming out. It's insane. Definitely feel like the extremely overly complicated magic system my friend and I came up with is probably not that well planned out anymore. I still think it's neat though. It doesn't need to be well planned out necessarily, Dolly, right? Like I was clowning on the Harry Potter series just now, but like at its core, it only becomes bad when you try to introduce more complexity that wasn't necessarily there in the first place, or wasn't necessarily needed to be there in the first place, right? You can have a really simple idea that's not purely planned out, but if you're using it just for your simple little like one-shot idea, for your little like short story, it's completely fine, right? And even if it is for like, if you're making it and it's not well thought out, but like it's for a larger project, the important thing is you live and learn from it, and you don't like double down and be like, no, this is perfect. Like sometimes like yeah, you're gonna have to make changes on it, and that's fine. It's all about being constructive to criticism, if that is even something you like, which would affect you in the first place, right? But 100%, like if you're doing this for like a small little short story, for like a little D&D campaign or anything like that, sometimes mistakes are more fun. What would happen if nothing got made? Oh, think about you're right, think about the economy. Think about the fish population, Kiwi. Hopefully Good Place is real so I can spend eternity watching everything I missed when I was alive. Okay. With that though, service crew, I'm out of my tea. And I've got an email to send. So, shall I wrap? Like for real this time? For real, for real? What are we doing the rest of you kids? We're doing Arknights tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing in Arknights tomorrow. Seriously, we're gonna find out together tomorrow when it happens. Probably just going through, there's an event going on right now, so we're probably just gonna actually do the, ow, what? Wait, what did I do? Oh, when you came in, okay. I was like, huh? Did I say something bad? We're doing Arknights tomorrow. We're probably gonna do like the event, just knock some stuff out. What's your suggestion, Ben? Thursday we're gonna do Project Zomboid, and then Sunday we're gonna do, I don't know what we're gonna do next week. I think I'm leaning towards Kiwi. Thank you, Dolly. I'm leaning towards just doing an unpacking stream again, where we do the Darkstar route, which is where you do everything bad, since that's just like a fun little thing we can do for like, since I think unpacking typically takes about 6 hours. Darkstar route might take more, might take less than that, but that's like, we can do that on a Sunday just fully. If it's shorter, that's fine. That gives us more time to play Silksong, right? Afterwards. But just something nice, relaxing, like just right. A nice unwind from everything. The week after that, no idea. And the week after that, that's my birthday. And the week after that, then we'll probably start a new, like, longer thing, possibly. Because the recent data mine suggests the events you soon. I know that I know Chapter 15 is coming out in a bit. I'm not gonna do story next week, I don't think. I don't feel like reading this week. I might do that next week, but yeah, I'm definitely not doing any reading this week. I did read in the last 7-8 weeks in a row in Arknights. We're doing full on gameplay next week, tomorrow, whatever it is. Let me ask you a question about scheduling. Go on. You got 2 minutes before I before I hit the button that says in stream. That's true. That's actually true. That's actually what I have the buttons, and it actually says start stream, starting, in stream, ending, studio, 14:3, 16:9, Zatsu. We're on the Zatsu one. No, you got it. So, if you ever have questions about like anything I do, you can ask in the suggestions thing. Hey, so you ever play Date Everything? That could be pretty cool. I wouldn't be opposed to like doing a dating game, but like Date Everything doesn't seem like that interesting to me, IMO. I don't know if it's the art style or like the concept of dating anything, right? I like it better when it's more like you have a smaller cast of characters. Like, I think the appeal of Date Everything is that you can date everything, but like, I don't want to date a couch, right? I don't want to date air. I want to date like a dude or a girl that like is a real person. So like, I get the appeal of it, but it's not for me. It's not my appeal. So you want to date your dishwasher? No. I'd rather date like a pretty girl. A pretty like real girl. The new longer thing would be Persona. Let's redo Persona 5, Royal. I agree, Dolly. Kind of real, Kiwi. Kind of real for that one. Like, I get it. Like, Hotoful Boyfriend is a gimmick dating sim, but it's actually really good. Date Everything is a gimmick dating sim, but it's actually really good. But, like, where's, like, the normal, just dating sim? Like it feels like are you a coward to like actually like be involved in a dating sim and you need to like hide behind this gimmick to do it? Come on now. So real for that one, Kiwi. So real for that one. You don't want to date existential dread? What do you plan your schedule the way you do? Like, you always set your schedule so you play a different game every day, repeating weekly. Why don't you find a main game for a few weeks and then play until you finish it? Because if I'm doing one main game for all of the week, Gabriel, there's a large swath of people that might just not show up, right? My idea is that in case someone like if I was playing Blueprints and I played Blueprints for like 2 months straight, right? Not 2 months straight, but if I played it for like a month straight, there'd be like a month where I probably wouldn't like see anyone, right? With the way I do it now, where it's like, oh, I play something on Sunday and something on Thursday, right? Like, for instance, Asmo. Asmo did not show up to any of the Blueprint streams because Asmo wanted to play Blueprints on their own, right? It's like, I like Asmo. I don't want to have like a month where I don't see them. And there are some characters, there's some chatters that just like don't vibe with a certain game, and I want to like give them the chance to like show up at least once a week and be like, hey, I'm here. What's up? And like, you can obviously get through more things that way by like focusing on one thing, but like, I don't know, it just isn't it. IMO. And the other thing is because like if you do that, looking at it from a like a views, retention, whatever you want to call it, standpoint, like if you're jamming out a game for an entire like month, everyone that's like following you, most people that are following you are probably gonna be like for that specific game, right? And then when you switch off that game, there are probably gonna be a lot of people that don't show up to any other stream, and that's just like, that just feels bad, right? By like switching up and doing things randomly, like you get more chances that people like come in, they filter in, they see like, oh, I watched him for this, and I see tomorrow he's playing something different. I probably won't show up for that, but there's a chance that they might. And then they come there and they're like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty cool. I like their chat. I like what they're doing here. Whereas like if I'm just playing like all of Blueprints and then like I switch off after a month to do something else, the person who was there only for Blueprints, there's not a chance that they're like going to come in and be like, actually, I like this guy now. I mean, there is a chance, but like it's much lower than like me rotating games IMO. Is this the correct way? No, I don't think there's any objectively correct way to do streams, to plan your content out. This is the way that I feel is right in my heart. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, Persona 5. Thank you, Dolly. You don't want to date your clothing hanger? My clothing hanger? We were talking about reminds you of the Simpsons race car bed thing. Oh my god. Oh my, which Wisteria, great reference. I sleep in a racing car, do you? I sleep in a big bed with my wife. That's legitimately the exchange. Do I still have that image, by the way? This is an image that I made for the interweb a long time ago. Hold on, can I find this real quick? Chat, I'm sorry, I'm gonna read you in a second and catch up, but I need to find a reference to something I made like 3 years ago. What would I have called it? I sleep in a racing car, do you? I sleep in a big bed with my wife. I love a good Simpsons reference. Good one, Mysteria. So yeah, Dream Daddy would be a little bit better because like it actual is like main characters. KFC Dating Sim is another one where it's like I think the gimmick overshadows it, where it like is worse because of that. Or not worse because of that, but I think it's weaker in my eyes because of the gimmick is like Colonel Sanders, right? Something with like actual character would be better. Dream Daddy is closer. I think Dream Daddy might be too memed on in the first place, but like it's closer to what I'm looking for if I were to do like a dating stream on stream. Too bad Honey Pop is banned on Twitch forever. That was a legit dating sim. Really? I thought it was mostly a whatever, like a Zumba or a what's the game where you're like matching colors together? A Candy Crush clone or whatever it is. What if I told you you can bring the objects to life and turn them to people? In your magic system or in something else? Oh, you mean in Date Everything? Oh no, I know in Date Everything you can like they become anthropomorphized versions of the things, but still like it's the idea of them being like objects and not actual people. I don't know. It's like I don't want to date like a toaster. I want to date someone that has had like real life experiences that we can like share. When you play a big game, you become kind of a hostage of your own schedule. If you play it today, you can only play it after a week. That makes sense. I've considered this when thinking about Tuesday Arknight streams and all. Makes total sense. Thank you. Thank you, Gabriel. Good question. Like, I know people only play dating sims, ironically, nowadays. Yeah. I feel that, Kiwi. The better, I don't want to date everything. I want to date a person who isn't a personification. Like, taking this and being like, I dated my toaster, do you? I dated. like, I can see some edit of that working really well. Memers, get on it. Bejewel, that's it. I know you've talked about Pack Thesis before. I have a list of dating sims you guys have recommended to me before. You can make them human. They become fully realistic people and leave the house. It's interesting. But again, I think the main gimmick is that you're dating a toaster or whatever like that. And like, even if they become a real human, like it's still the barrier to entry is that it's a gimmick in the first place. Gimme Toki Meki Memorial? I think that's the dating sim I'm thinking of, the like insane one that they don't make them like anymore because it's like insanely crazy. I don't know, I'm not gonna look that up. We were supposed to end like 15 minutes ago. Alright. With that, Source Crew, let's wrap. I'm gonna send you guys over to... Ooh. I assume they're still going. Because it's an all-day thing, right? Yeah, let's do that. Source Crew, I'm gonna go send you to... There's still 50 minutes to the full hour. It's fine. We did over an hour. That's the main thing. Thank you, by the way, Asmo. Welcome in, by the way. I don't know if you've been looking the entire time. So I'm going to send you guys over to Benny. Benny's currently playing Arknights. Benny's currently reading through Lone Trail. That's a great event. They've been doing it like all day. Like I've popped in and like lurked during little bits and pieces here and there. So go check them out. Ace is, or not Ace. Benny's great. I saw Gabriel say Ace WTF and I was like, I put my own name in. I'm also great technically, but wait, is over. I want to chat more. I don't have much else to talk about. It's hard for me to chat. This wasn't really good just chatting, by the way. Thank you guys for coming out. Super duper fun. I always say we need to do this more. And honestly, I'd rather it end now when you want to chat more than to drag this out, because that makes it more special, right? It makes you want to come back again. But yeah, with that, for real now. Let's wrap. Also, Ace, did you check out the silver case yet before ending? The silver case. Did I check out the silver case? I don't think you... Did you show me this one before? I don't remember you talking about this one before, actually. I know you talked about... I saw Paranormicite you had talked about, and there was the other one that you had recommended like forever ago, but I haven't seen this one before. It's interesting. I'll do more research in this. I'm thinking of... I'll have to look at the time, like how long it takes. I think I want to do Paranormicite soon. Like that seems like a real quick, easy, fun little one to do. That's probably like over 2 streams kind of a deal. Maybe 3 if we're doing it on like Thursdays. But that's probably what I'm gonna do, like as a smaller game. Not gonna say when, not gonna like make any promises or anything like that. We're gonna like September is gonna be a vibe month. You feel? Like we'll find out on Saturday. We're all gonna find out Saturday together, right? A drug pusher. You can have more if you come back later. Unironically. That's what being a good streamer is all about. Good lord. No more topics. Yeah, because they were games that like... No more topics. Yeah, because they were games that like just chatting type of game. What? Oh, in my times these streams would last 4 hours. Oh, like when we were doing like web fishing or whatever like that. And I probably could do for longer, but... I feel like it's better to wrap now than to like peter off. I think I already said that, but alright. We gotta get him to play P4G with the Yosuke romance mod installed. It's the only way. Why P4G with Yosuke? Do a P3P playthrough. Let me date Punch Dude, whose name I'm blanking out on. Alright, with that, Service Crew, I'm sending you over to Benny. Benny's playing Arcanines. Benny's reading through Lone Trail. He's been doing... Akiko, thank you. Benny's been playing Lone Trail all day. As someone who's also gone through a long stream, I feel that. Go check him out. Benny's a really cool guy. But with that, I know nothing else. Let me set this up first. With that, I know nothing else. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to catch you next time. Peace out, everyone. And see you there in 3, 2, 1. Go say hi.